The general, the statesman, and the artist, they have very different mechanisms that they use to go about their problems. But there's something very much in common between the best general, the best statesman, and the best artist. None of them, without imagination, can get anything done. And the sentence is already, let's say, old. It's from the 80s. But I think this is not changing. Like? So rarely has reality needed so much to be imagined. You guys said a couple of times today about thinking out of the box. And I think that people that think out of the box, very rarely will think about the box. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at there, right? But I want to start this talk with a little bet. I want to make a little bet with you guys. If I manage to get all the way through a talk about purpose and not mention Elon Musk, will you guys help me to get an electric Mini next year? Can we try that? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so let's do this. No, in the end, there's a little box. There's a magic box there. Watch the box. Right? That guy. Okay, so 72% of employees are disengaged. All right? According to the Gallup poll. And 56% of them are completely checked out. Right? But also the Gallup poll said that this guy wouldn't win. So maybe the Gallup poll employees are not that engaged either. I'm not sure. Right? I want to start talking about what purpose is not. Because when a purpose has sort of a mystique around it that feels a little bit like Valentine's Day, it's not like, so it's not. Purpose is not having a cause and being a rebel and having weird hair or being Berlin or anything like this, right? That's not what purpose is in a deeper sense. In that sense, that makes you the best artist, the best general, the best statesman. In that sense, that connects extreme competence coming from deep feeling. In that sense where it doesn't make a difference anymore. Is Nelson Mandela an artist, a statesman, or a general? I can't really tell the difference, right? But it's also not about having a revelation, right? It's not, one day the sky opened and everything made sense and I knew what to do, right? Because then you're passive. You're sitting around waiting for purpose to dawn upon you, but for now I'm just having breakfast. Right? So yeah, it's also not kind of there. So looking from this religious sort of lens is also not going to solve the situation for us, right? And one that really gets everybody off the hook is like, purpose is a luxury because I have 7 children and then 82 cars and I have to take care of 3 apartments and I don't have this luxury of purpose. I have to do the straight and narrow. I have to make sure that the bills are paid. It's not that hard to pay the bills, really. Especially if you live in Berlin, as Leon explained, right? So it's also not about having this luxury of purpose. That, now my life is so great because now I have purpose, because it's a luxury, because I don't have to worry about things anymore. So I don't like these 3 angles. You have to dig for it. You have to look under things. You have to turn the stones. And I believe that there is sort of a reward if you're willing to look at the places where you're kind of afraid to go. Does that make some sense? Is there maybe a nagging sensation that has been in the back of your mind since you were a child and you've been kind of trying to avoid it ever since? It might have something to do with that place. It's just a sensation, right? And that's personal purpose. Purpose is a matter of alignment. Just like the artist has to align material, themes, social constructions, getting the show, getting the place. For an artist to go down in history, a lot of things have to align. For a general to win consecutive battles to go down in history, a lot of things have to align. For a statement to change the way something works, a lot of things have to align. A lot of you has to be given away. A lot of hearing has to be done. A lot of things have to align. So personal purpose is only the beginning. Because you have also organizational purpose. right? So you are aligning personal purpose with the organizational purpose. And then, so you have individual. You have the guy that goes to bed, wakes out of bed, falls in love, or the woman, makes the breakfast, cooks the spaghetti, goes to the bar, gets dumped, loses, wins sometimes, feels bad, feels great, realizes shouldn't be feeling that great, changes his mind. All right, and then you have organizational purpose, something that is so incredibly timeless and non-individual like BMW. Something that has been around, what, like 1916 or before? 92 billion but income a year? That's not any one person, not even Quanst. It's too big. And then you, inside that monster, you that fell in love, that broke your feet, that doesn't really like coffee, but sometimes drinks it because they tell you, like you can. And inside that monster, you have a role purpose. Somebody gave you a job. Right? Sometimes you applied for it. Sometimes you even lied. I am perfect for this job. I really I'm so glad to be here. Sometimes it's necessary, right? If these three things align, really nice, something magical might happen, right? Let's talk about the Berlin people, right? These damn millennials. So these people are 18 to 35, right? I am like a late millennial. I'm an old millennial. I'm 31. And these people, over the next 5 years, I know the big corporations do planning in like 5 to 5 to 5. They're the people you're going to hire. They're the people that you have to keep happy as leadership. And actually, they're the people who are going to be buying your cars. I don't know about the planes, but the cars for sure. So these are USA statistics, okay? 25% of the population, but they're 50% of the workforce. They account for 30% of retail sales everywhere. And these are annoying customers and annoying employees as well, because they know who they are, they use their skills as leverage, they build impact-driven communities, as you can see. That's what we're doing these 2 days. They practice intentional experimentation. And no, they're not scientists. They're scientists. They're scientists of religion, of sexuality, of philosophy, of ideology. They go to different countries. They want to have different experiences. They want to be in different climates. It's a complete different mindset, especially because the world has proven us that security is a lie. So we want to be flexible. We want to be resilient. I don't like the resilience. The word resilience is perfect. Resilience as a mind, it's perfect. But every time I hear it, it still feels stiff, right? So resilience is actually the capacity to be destroyed but not become undone. But this is a purpose talk. I'll talk about resilience some other day, right? Elevated expectations. It's an annoying customer. He wants a lot, he expects a lot, he expects to be understood on an individual level, even though you have zillion of them. And that's the problem. They have 1.3 trillion annual dollars buying power in 2017. None of them are rich. It's just because it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people, right? And it's a projected 3.39 trillion annual buying power 2018. That's the year we're in, right? Just checking. So purpose is also a business issue, right? I'm not here to talk about all roses and like all the integration of beautiful things. We have to think about this to keep the spreadsheets in order. This is a bean counter problem. It's not just about social feelings. It's about social success. It's about thriving societies. So the move, the big shift, the big market shift that we're watching happening is a shift from consumption to experience. It's a generational issue where we don't want to own things, but we want to experience things. So we want to own memories and not objects. And we want to grow through these memories. And everything starts with these three little annoying letters repeated over and over and over and over and over again. So you guys were talking about startup mechanisms, startup methodologies. The most important one, the most like basal one that influenced so much of what has happened in the last 15 years is the lean startup. And the first chapter of the lean startup will tell you about the 5 whys, right? It's coming from Toyota. It's nothing revolutionary, but why? At least 5 whys to get to the reason of the problem, right? So when we apply this to purpose, the question is, why am I here and not somewhere else? Right? Why haven't I used my own little 2 feet to go have another experience over there? You might not be doing this, but your future employee will. Right? So if you want loyalty, and if you want a powerful, talented group that's going to build something majestic, you're going to have to think about purpose a little bit in the end of the day. So, and this is my opinion, sooner or later, we all shall quest. Usually we'd have 5 children, build a family, get some grandchildren, get all the things in order, finish the papers, and think about this before dying. But I don't think it's like that anymore, right? So sooner or later, we're going to face our own mortality. And why are we specific at this place and not at that place? And why did I make that choice and not the other choice? And why didn't I face this sooner? So if you don't want to do this, at least don't get in the way. As a leader, when you watch your employees, because I'm thinking about the general, the artist, and the statesman. I'm thinking about leaders. I'm thinking about people whose decisions and even bad moods influence the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions. So if you don't want to do the quest, at least don't get in the way, because it's a generational kind of a shift that's coming, and it's bigger than all of us. Right? Because when you're 24 and you're thinking about the security, you want to get a job. And a job is identified with what I can afford. I can do this without the notes. I'm very impressed. The job, the job is identified with what you can afford, right? It's what I need, what I can afford. That's it. It's a necessary evil to get something else. So the job you're doing it because you don't want to, the why is because I don't want to be here. I want to be there, so I do this here because I want to be there, and this gets me there. Stage 1 of purpose, or lack of purpose, right? But then you kind of start to enjoy it, right? Well, this makes me feel fancy. I could afford this jacket. I'm feeling good, like everything's going fine, and I am this. I am a manager. I have a career, and I am identified with what I am. What if I go to a family dinner and I say, BMW, and everybody goes like, whoa, and you go like, yeah. Private jet. And that's nice. It feels a little more purposeful, but it's not yet about being where you are. It's a ladder. You're trying to climb it. You're trying to get to the other thing. It's kind of like the box sort of paradox. The more you think about the box, the less you can think out of the box. It's kind of like this, like you're in a career. You're still not mindful and present where you are. And then you have the calling. And the calling that could be from the janitor to the CEO, it doesn't matter, because the thing itself doesn't matter anymore. You're identified with what you do. And you usually identify with what we do. And this is, I'm going out on a limb. I can't really say this for everyone. But I think that what people like the most in life is to be useful to others. I think we love being of use to others. I think there's a deep sense of meaning that comes from this that we don't even have to talk about. Because having children is incredibly annoying. And the only reason why you do it so well, we all do it and love it so much, is because that's it. It's being useful to others every day, sustained, and watching it grow. So we are all gardeners. Doesn't matter if life made us an artist, or if life made us statesmen, or we're all gardeners. And if we're able to think like this as leaders, something might get better, right? 3 little tips to think like this as leaders. Focus on enhancing relationships, right? Enhancing relationships, broadening the bandwidth of the relationships. Maybe providing the feeling of doing something greater than oneself, right? And allowing space for personal growth and experience, even if it's not completely non-related to the greater than oneself thing that we were doing. These 3 things might help us make a purpose effect emerge, right? It's not a recipe of the cake, we have no idea, but purpose is also a creative constraint, because purpose is also about what you cannot do. It might feel great, like, oh, let's make purpose emerge, that's awesome, la la la, and then you are in a purposeful organization, and you cannot be the boss that comes and just screams at everyone anymore. You're right? Because these people are empowered. They're not there because you're the boss or because they're going to buy the private jet. No, man, we're changing the world here. Let's get this done. Right? Because purposeful people are in love with problems. And I think for me, that's the click. Right? Big, big problems. Like, for example, climate change or fossil fuel addiction. Trying to solve that, or maybe like turning mankind into a spacefaring civilization, maybe. That's a cool one, Or like bringing internet connectivity to the whole planet. Some of you already noticed that I lost my bet. Because that's just one guy. That's just one guy. One purposeful guy. Well, it's Elon Musk. Sort of a little bit of a competitor of BMW. At least in one sector. He's kind of winning at this point, at least in that sector. Think about it, right? So I have 4 questions for you guys when you're visiting the startups. Maybe this is the things you should write down. So how do they craft their jobs for purpose? How do they build their individual positions in the individual purpose, role purpose, organizational purpose kind of a framework? How do they craft it for purpose? Right? Do they have small rituals that they do daily in that company that I could copy very cheaply and simply with my direct team of people that I work every day? Are there rituals that they do that I can copy with my team? Right? Maybe ask them about it. Like, do you feel you're a purposeful organization? How do you do it? What do you do every day that kind of helps this? Do you guys ask each other how you're doing and actually listen to the answer? That always works. So, third question is, this is more an internal question. How can I raise purpose awareness in BMW as a whole? Coming from my team, from the little things we do, how can we infect the whole country, the whole company? And what impact would a purposeful BMW have on the world as a whole? This is more like an imagination one. So this is me. This is my website. I love work. It's right there in the top of my website. I love work because I got to craft my own job. I never went to college, so it's really hard for me to apply to normal jobs, especially in Germany. So I had no option. I made myself a little trap to get out of, and it kind of worked. And my big problem is helping people make the transition from consumer to creator, right? I am really, really excited when I see people realizing that they can actually do their own things, even if it's physical, like painting, which I teach every week, or startuping and da-da-da-da-da. I am a facilitator. A facilitator is a weird creature because my job sits exactly in between politics, the statesman, business, the general, and art, the artist. My job is in between the 3. And without imagination, I would be nothing. Finding the connections that nobody saw and helping you be a better businessman while you paint with me, that's my job. Visualquest.art. So I tried to get this thing that I do on a one-to-one level to an online thing. I created this little framework. I learned how to make websites a month ago, and I got so obsessed that in 1 month I built this up. Inside that box, there's cards and stuff, and you guys can go watch the website. You're going to see a learning platform where you can go from zero knowledge in painting to teaching yourself how to paint completely in 25 lessons, divided between research, observation, process, and delivery. And you're going to go, oh my God, so much work to put this together. No. Actually, if you put up one spreadsheet and upload it, the whole website shows up with all the links and videos and so any manager, leader, teacher that needs to help people somewhere else. And my dream, I did it for myself, for my needs as a facilitator. And as I was doing it, I was like, wow, I have to show this to other people because it became so easy. And then, do you want to talk to like 50 BMW people like next week? I was like, uh-huh. So I'm going to pass this box around because I'm out of time. And here you guys can find my card, stickers, and flyers of the painting class. Please get in touch, because I don't know what to do with this thing that I invented, but it makes me really excited. All right? And have a great day, and thanks for listening to me. What I forgot to mention is 4 billion people are going to come online in the next 10 years because of Elon Musk. 4 billion. If they're all mindless consumers, the environment is over. If they're all empowered creators, we're going to have a pretty kick-ass renaissance. That's my big problem. I lost my notes.